Hi, Sufiyan.
Hello.
I am Nadia from Zen Onco and Love Heals Cancer. We guide cancer patients on adopting an integrative oncology treatment approach. We help them find the balance between mainstream treatment and complementary treatment approaches. We help patients with a team of oncologists, lab experts, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals so that the best treatment outcome is given to the patient, correct?
Hmm.
Right. So we also help in connecting other patients through and cancer warriors and survivors like yourself here through their inspirational journeys. Because when someone goes through such a situation, they have a lot of queries that go unanswered, right?
Yeah.
So that way, we try to connect patients with other patients who have gone through such a situation. And we also want to share these inspirational journeys to motivate others and bring in inspiration, right? Okay. So today we have with us Sufiyan, and he is here to tell us his entire story. We can't wait to listen to him and how he has reached and become the person that he is today. Wow, it's
Thanks for
already
all the
inspirational.
appreciation.
Yeah.
I'm not so worthy though, but yeah, thanks.
You inspire us already, but still, yeah, you think so.
How high
All
would a
right.
person think of himself?
Yeah. All right. Not a lot of people go through what you go through. And
Yeah,
to come out of it and be so positive and be so optimistic about life, about having the right attitude is not easy. And we want to know how you went through it. We want to know how you dealt with it, right?
absolutely. And it's an honor for me actually that I've got selected for such an important thing, so that my life story, my struggle story, would become an inspiration for the others struggling with this. Okay, the dangerous norm the society has titled it as cancer.
Right.
And if I would be of any help, if even one person gets encouraged because of my story and doesn't give up, then the purpose of my life would be fulfilled.
Amazing. Amazing. This is why I said the inspiration already comes from you. See that personality already there. Right. Let's start, shall we? So
Yeah.
let's start with your diagnosis. When did this all start? Let's start there.
My diagnosis. Actually, if I would tell you the pre-story of my diagnosis, then it would go like I was just five and a half. Okay, 5.5 years old. During those times, I used to have frequent stomach and body aches.
Correct.
And this condition got worsened whenever I used to eat anything,
Right.
and as soon as it got out through my esophagus and reached out into my stomach used to start aching a lot. So my
Okay.
father was a bit tensed. He took me to a childcare specialist in the nearby city Ulasnagar.
Hmm.
Mm. And then the doctor, she was a specialist. She took a diagnosis of me. It took about 2 to 3 days. She did a sonography, and that sonography showed that I had a lump in my spleen.
Okay.
The part of my spleen was swollen. So
Right.
because of that, the doctor suggested that doctor advised that I should be taking care in a bigger hospital with a lot of uh, what do you say, where the treatment is much higher and with the all the equipments available.
Yeah.
So my father, he took me to another a great hospital in Thane. It is a very renowned hospital. I won't take the name right now because no endorsements, right? So my father took me there to the hospital in Thane. There, the hospital was such prestigious that the hospital staff, the hospital management, they said that this is something new for us. Okay, this is something new for us.
A rare case, you mean?
Yeah, a rare case, whatever pain you're going through, we need to diagnose it very well so that we can get the actual problem which you're facing.
Right.
Okay. And the diagnosis itself would cost about more than 2 to 3 lakhs
Right.
at that point of time in 2009.
Hmm.
Okay. And my father, he didn't. I actually belong to a very middle class family. Okay. And my father having a mediocre job, it wasn't possible for him to just spend 2 to 3 lakhs for the diagnosis itself. So we were suggested to go to a hospital where which was made only for cancer itself, which was
Right.
made for cancer itself and mainly childhood cancer survivors.
Right.
Okay, so we went. We were taken to Wadia Hospital in Parel, Mumbai. We were taken to Wadia Hospital, and there it took a bit of time. Took a bit of time for the diagnosis, but later it was discovered that I had blood cancer, Burkitt's
Okay.
lymphoma, specifically, if you wanted to.
Yeah. And
The
what
cancer,
stage was
as
it?
far as yeah, when it was diagnosed, I was at stage 4, last stage. I was
Okay.
already at the last stage, but it was all a grace of God that I was just mere 6 years old, so I couldn't remember anything. I
Hmm.
just knew that I had some kind of disease which I was going through, due to which I had frequent body aches, frequent stomach aches, and the only support pillar which I had were my parents. The way they told me that, the way they told me that, don't worry,
I understand.
everything's going to be fine. You are just you will be here for just like 1 or 2 months. They'll admit you, and then you will get fine as you were before, and you'll be able to play with your friends. I i am so thankful that I did not have cancer at this age, because I could just not imagine what phase I would be going through.
I understand. Wow.
Sorry.
It's okay. Please take your time. Not an issue at all.
Okay.
Your parents are your biggest inspiration, I can see.
Yeah.
Wow. You are their best and only son. Yes. Anyway. And then what happened?
Okay. And then the diagnosis was done, and then okay, I was diagnosed. The results came out, and it showed that I had Burkitt's lymphoma, a type of blood cancer,
Right.
a cancer in the lymphs. Okay,
Yes.
the cancer in
Yes.
the lymphs. So, okay, the treatment itself started in Vadia.
Mm-hmm.
We were told to get support, because Vadia Hospital is a trust managed hospital. It's a hospital managed by a trust. So also along with the trust, there were many NGOs and other
Yes.
personalities coming over to the hospital and checking out for children who were
Correct.
suffering from cancer, so that if they are in need of anything, they could help them with it.
Mm-hmm.
Then too, to get the help from the trust personalities in those times, back in 2009, it was
2009.
like, okay, they were willing to help, but it would take a lot of time.
Hmm.
And what I had was, I had to start my treatment right away, as I was already in the last stage.
Right.
So my father, he somehow managed to get the funds and started my treatment right away. We thought of getting help, but due to the due to the time management, we couldn't.
Okay.
So that's how it happened. As I
Time
told you,
managers.
as
What
in time
exactly?
management, as in, I my treatment had to get started right away with everything which was possible, all the
Okay.
chemos and everything, all the medications, whatever was possible.
Right.
But if you contact the trust personalities and NGOs, then the procedure was long, because there were many children and patients like me who were in need. So that would take a longer time, because of for the time that for I mean I didn't have much time. I had to start the treatment right away. So my father thought of not getting any help, but rather managing funds on his own.
Most of the time in cases of cancer, it is like that because time is of the essence, right? Right. Every minute, every second counts always when it is in such a situation. And the way you've shared your story here right now is just amazing because it's how the initial diagnosis happened. And I just want one more query I have to ask.
Hmm.
Was there the only symptom, the stomach aches? Were there any other symptoms as such? Like, did you
Uh,
recall?
as far as I remember, I had stomach aches, because as a child, I told you I was just 5 or 6. The memories, whatever what I have, are faint right now. So whatever problems I went through at that time, like I remember that I had stomach aches. My body used to pain like anything, even after playing a little bit. I used to
Right.
play a little with my friends, and my body used to pain like anything. My legs used to pain like anything. And whatever food I used to gulp in, my stomach did not accept it. It wanted to throw it off. I felt like vomiting. My stomach used to ache, and that's all. I don't remember anything more such of.
No such as the symptom types, right?
Yeah, something
And
like
when you went to the doctors, like once the treatment, how was your I mean, I know you need to ask your parents more about this, but when you're consulting the doctor, like when the treatment plans were put out to you, how did you know what did your dad do at such a situation? Like,
My
how did he pick
dad,
up?
my dad. Okay, for my dad, what was important wasn't that he doesn't have funds. What
Hmm.
was important was my health.
Right,
My health was more important than anything else. So he was like, okay, if this is the problem, if this is what my child is going through, let's start the treatment right away, whatever the doctor is suggesting, because doctors were the only hope.
right,
They knew better than any of us. They knew better than any of us what my condition was. And my condition was what I was going through, and how much time if I delay, then the condition will get worsened.
right,
So these were all the things the doctors knew. My parents did all. They just did what the doctors said.
right. Also,
Yeah.
what were the treatments that you went through? Like, uh, how were the caregivers in the hospital to you? How
They
explain that
were
journey?
okay. The journey in the hospital. Okay. As a child, I was a playful child. Since my birth, I was always playful. I loved making new friends wherever I went. I since I was left out with my friends over here in my neighborhood and vicinity near where I live. I made new friends in the hospital itself. My ward mates, because there's a big ward. The ward is very big, and there are a lot of beds. There are a
Right.
lot of beds. So the bed which you're sleeping on, there are more beds there's one bed at your right side, one bed at your left side,
Yes.
and then you will see more beds in the front and the back. So these children like me who are in the hospital suffering from cancer, who we have? We have no one except for our mothers and caregivers, and the other children who are suffering from cancer. So it was all good that whenever we were going through our treatment, we were put those chemotherapies, all the medications, uh, and we only had these friends. We used to laugh together for the time being whenever we were free, and then play together, roam out in the ward. That's it.
Right. Right. And
The
what were the treatments that you went through?
treatments that I went through,
Yeah.
specifically what you're talking about.
As a cancer patient, you would have
Uh,
gone through certain number of cycles of chemotherapy, number of cycles of radiation.
oh,
What were your treatments?
okay.
The treatment plan.
Chemotherapies. I was given six chemotherapies. I
Right.
was given six chemotherapies uh, in the span of 1 month each. Okay,
Okay.
1 month each, and then it happens like the first chemos, first 3 to 4 chemos, they're very good.
Hmm.
They don't harm you as much, but the last 2 to 3 chemos, they're like, okay, those are harmful. Those can even I mean, what happens during the chemotherapy is whenever
Yes.
chemo goes through inside your body, it kills all the cells, either it be good or bad. It kills all of your cells. So okay, the cancer is also exacerbated by cells.
Okay.
Okay, so when your bad cells get destroyed, as well as along with your bad cells, even your good cells get destroyed. So
Yes.
one person may get a hell lot weak because of those destruction of the cells. So
Okay.
the last stage is what it happens is that when your good cells get destroyed, you fall sick.
Right.
It happens to all the cancer patients that during the last chemos they start losing their hair. I lost
Yes.
all of my body hair. I lost all of my body hair. I lost I lost my hair, my hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows. All of the body hair was vanished. Okay,
Right.
and some okay, I don't know how to say this, but some I told you there were ward mates. Some
Mm.
of them ward mates, they felt so sick that they could not survive the last chemo stages, so they passed out in the last ones.
Okay.
Okay, so
Right. I understand. I understand. And uh, how did you cope with this? There must have been so many difficulties on your body as well. How did you cope with it? I mean, your mental state also wouldn't have been at the best. I know you were very young, and you still did go through a lot, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And I can only imagine a young person going through something like that, you know, that requires a lot of mental courage. It requires a lot of mental strength. And trust me, you're it. Yeah, please go on.
So it happened like during the chemo stages. Okay, you're also, I don't know what the purpose was for them, but you're also injected some liquid into your spine. Okay,
Okay.
also they are also injected some liquid into your spine at the interval of 2 to 3 months.
Right.
I guess I
Right.
don't remember as much, but that was called something like IV. What
Okay.
what they did was the head doctor, we were taken out of our ward
Mm.
into a place where all these uh, actions took place, and
Mm.
then the child was put on his chest,
Mm.
and then the uncles used to hold his hands and legs so that he doesn't move, and the doctor used to inject something to the spine, and that was so painful, that was so painful. All the children, they used to shout, they used to scream, they used to scream like anything. And I'm not gonna, what do you say? I'm not gonna praise my own self, but I had got a hold of it. So at the first time, I did scream, but since the second time it happened to me, they injected that liquid like 3 to 4 times.
Mm.
But after the first time, I had got a hold of it, and the second time, I did not speak a word. I was quiet
Yeah.
like anything. And
Yeah.
for that, I also got an appraisal from an NGO that this child is so brave that he did not, being just 6 years old, he did not shout or cry for that thing because it was very painful. And I was given a bravery award too for that.
Wow, amazing. Amazing. And not only that, like, you were just, you knew what was coming.
Yeah.
The first time you did it, you knew how the pain is. So you prepared yourself for it.
Yeah, I did prepare myself.
Yeah.
It won't take more than 10 minutes. I have to hold that thing inside for me for at least 10 minutes. I don't want to show that I'm weak. I didn't want to show that I'm weak. I
Wow.
wanted to show that I'm stronger than the other kids.
Oh my God. I mean, as a child, we tend to think like that. Yes. I know the feeling too.
You want to show that superiority.
Yes, yes. And I mean, definitely, it's not easy. I can imagine the pain you would have gone through having to hold that in for 10 minutes. Wow. 10 minutes would have been like the longest time at that point. Wow. Okay. And other than this, what are the other things that you would say that helped in your recovery and helped in your level of your mental state today while
Okay.
going through this?
So I
Were
would
there
list out.
any hobbies that you picked up? Were there any, like, how did you manage?
Okay, so I remember these things from those days when my treatment was going on. What happened was during the first stages of chemo. Okay, and during the first stages of chemo, I had got an infection in my throat,
Okay.
due to which I could not eat anything.
Hmm.
Any solid food was not. It was difficult for me to gulp it, to swallow it, because
Okay.
as soon as you used to put the food inside, yeah, they used to pain a lot. Pain a lot. It felt like as if there were solid spiky things here stuck in. So as the food went inside, they used to crush with that spiking thing and then cause pain. It
My
would
God.
feel like that to me.
Hmm.
So I was basically on liquids like juices and all, and that patli dal and all things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it happened like there was this doctor. She was the greatest doctor, I would say. She was a great doctor. She used to do all the things for the cancer patients, either be it the bone marrow or the bone marrow test or the IV test. She used to do everything.
Yeah.
All the children in the ward, as well as the other wards, were afraid of her because of the looks she gave. She was pretty. I could
Okay.
think of it right now. She was pretty, but okay, she was strict. She was very strict. So once she told my mother that force me to eat in solid things,
Hmm.
so that could get cured quickly. Okay,
Yeah.
she told my mother. So she advised my mother to feed me solid things, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't. So once she came at the lunchtime and told me that Sufyan, if you do not eat whatever your mom is giving you, I might have to take you for another bone marrow test. I
Oh
was
my
so
God.
scared. I was so scared. Damn, I couldn't even just imagine it. And the looks, bapre. As a child is also okay, frightened by the looks the other person gives, the adult gives.
Yeah.
You don't just have to get beatings. You're also
Yeah.
scared by the looks the other adult person gives you.
Yes,
So
yes.
I was scared by that, and also thinking about the bone marrow test I have to go through again. What was the previous pain useful for?
Right.
All in vain. So I thought of that, and then due to that fear, I somehow managed to grab that food in. And since that day, every day I resumed eating solid food.
Wow. You all you needed was that little push, and you were there.
Actually,
That
yeah,
initial push to get you where you are. I mean, it's so beautiful to see you sit here and talk about these things. And, you're going back. You're
yeah,
going back
I'm
when
taking
you're,
the rewind.
yeah, even when you're telling me these things, you're explaining your story, you're going back, you're going down that memory and reliving it with me. And I'm so filled with so much joy watching you explain this. Like, I mean, it's beautiful to me. You're explaining your childhood as a teenager, by the way. So, so even when you're saying that she was pretty, I'm thinking, oh, okay, he noticed that also.
I was too
Yeah.
young for to notice that time. But when I remember those things back, I think, okay, that doctor, she was pretty.
Yes.
I couldn't contact her now. Oh shit.
Uh, so talk about your other caregivers in the other than from the hospital, like friends who came to meet you,
Okay.
other families.
So okay, when I was in the hospital with my mother was me with all the time. At that time, my younger sister, she was just 2 years old.
Okay.
My mother had to leave my 2-year-old sister with my grandmother, and she was staying all her time with me in the hospital.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
I somewhere think that whatever I went through had a toll on my younger sister as well. She couldn't get the motherly love she wanted.
Mm.
Okay, during her initial stages, she
Okay.
couldn't get the motherly love. So I somewhere feel that it shouldn't have happened at that time.
How many years was she? I mean, did the treatment occur? Like it took a year,
That
right?
it took not a year, a little less than a year.
Hmm.
And then later on I was like on medications. I was called for frequent checkups so that they could test if
Yes.
there was a
Follow up.
relapse,
Right.
follow-ups to test if there was a relapse. If you talk about the hospital days, okay,
Mhm.
talk about the hospital days when I was in the hospital with my mother. At that time, the hospital food, my God, it was so. Uh, I shouldn't say I shouldn't say anything about food, but yeah, it was so tasteless. Like the dal was, you could correspond the dal to little semi-solid water. Okay, some
I
semi-solid
understand.
water. Okay,
I
the
understand.
dal was semi-solid water. Secondly, there was no salt or spices in the food, and the chawal also did not have any salt. You have to eat those tasteless food. I was so fed up with it, but it happened like my uncle, my father's elder brother. My uncle, he was always there for me.
Okay.
Traveling from Ambarnath to Parel, it
Yeah,
takes
I
about
do.
2 hours. It takes about 2 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
so my uncle, he used to prepare something for me from his house by himself or by my auntie. He used to prepare something from his house, travel 2 hours to Parel, come to the hospital and feed me the food.
That
So
is the kind of love you were getting.
this is the kind of love I got during those times, and I didn't realize it then, but I realize it now, and I cherish them. I really do cherish them. Okay, I
Wow.
had such supporting pillars with me during my times of problem.
Yes. And also, what would you have to say to people who are not so lucky as you?
Ah, okay. People who are not so lucky as me, remember, there's always God. If you have no one, you have God. You just don't have to lose your hope. The God, you cannot say that God. is in humans, but God can be disguised as humans, which are doctors. Okay, you
Right.
have to you just have to need that faith in the doctors which are treating your child or treating you yourself. Don't
Mm.
lose hope. There's still a chance you may survive.
Look
Just
at
don't.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah, okay. It's always said, there's a quote in English: well begun is half done. Right?
exactly.
Well begun is half done. If you have that courage, okay, I'm going through it, I'll conquer it. I'll become a victor of cancer. Then you've already conquered the half war.
Half the job is done by then.
Yeah, you've already conquered half of the war. You just have
Wow,
to go, you
amazing.
just have to pass the other half.
Amazing, amazing. Even to hear you talk right now with so much of positivity and so much of like, bring it on. I will do it. You can throw me anything right now. That is the kind of attitude you're talking to me with right now. And
Oh,
I feel so happy looking at this person that, they would have at one point gone through so much that right now they're at a level of power, not a level of, oh, just that, okay, fine, this was my life, this is how it all happened, yes. No, this is just 10 notches above that.
10 notches because
This,
10 years have already passed, I would
yes,
say.
10 years have already passed, yes, correct, correct, almost 10 years, right?
More than
Wow,
10 years.
more than 10 years.
Yeah.
And tell us about your parents. Have they disclosed to you what they went through and how they
Yeah,
uh,
they did. Actually, when, okay, I told you before that I was just 6.
mm,
I went through all that. I got treated. I got well. I was brought back to my home. I was brought back to where I live. Okay. So then it happened like after a few years. In the initial years after my treatment got completed, I was taken care of as a special child.
okay.
I was taken care of as a special child. I was given boiled food, boiled water. Okay. My
Mm,
father used to. My father didn't even allow boiled water. He used to bring packaged water from outside
okay.
every month. He used to bring many bottles or that 150-liter can for that for me every
Yeah.
month. I used to drink that packaged water, and I always felt that why am I getting treated so specially? What's special in me? I have a younger sister as well. Shouldn't she be treated same as me?
Yeah.
These were the thoughts running in the mind those times. Okay,
Mm,
and also I remember that because that I had just completed my treatment, I was only kept at home.
okay.
It was like a home arrest for me during those times.
Right.
I was kept at home. I wasn't allowed to go out and play with my friends, to mingle with them. I was told that don't tire yourself by my parents. Don't tire yourself, and tell us if anything happens to you. If you feel any pain, if you feel that you're suffering a cold or if you're coughing, then tell us.
Yeah.
Okay. And do not tire yourself so much like others, so that you might fall sick. These were the guidelines, I would say, guidelines like in school, what your parents would have, what the teachers tell you every time, and your parents were doing the same.
Mm,
These were the guidelines I had to follow, and I already did. Okay, and also I was not me, but my parents to were told by the doctors that if after the treatment got over, I was called for frequent follow ups. Okay, I was
mm,
called for frequent follow ups, but then
yeah.
too the doctors told my parents that if at all anything happens, even if it is a minor cold, okay, not a minor cold I would say, but if it's a mild fever, if
Mm,
your fever goes above 36 degrees Celsius
yeah.
or 99-degree Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. Yeah.
Fahrenheit, okay. If your fever goes above 99-degree Fahrenheit, then you have to immediately rush to Parel, Vadia Hospital from Ambernath only.
Okay.
Either it be any time, either it be at the midnight, you have to directly rush to the hospital. And traveling 2 hours, having a child who's suffering from fever is not easy.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
You said it. Yeah. Absolutely not. For a child, especially. I
yeah.
mean, that's what I was asking you actually. What did your parents go through? Have they disclosed like the kind of tensions they had gone through at that point in time? I mean, they would have had no clue as to how to get your treatment done, how to get the money intact. in time, those things. And your mom, how it's her son out there grappling with the disease, right? Um, could you share a few thoughts on that?
If I talk about my mother, there's this incident I remember from my hospital days. I told you that the last stages of chemo are fatal. They can
Yeah.
even cause death.
Yes.
Okay, so I remember at the last stages, I felt seriously sick. I
Okay.
felt seriously sick. I had lost all of my hair, my body hair, my eyelashes, my eyebrows, everything. And then at that time, I don't. My mother just told me that I was sick. Okay, I
Okay.
don't know any of it. My mother just told me that I was very sick. I remember this incident, this scene,
Hmm.
which goes into my mind even right now when I'm talking to you. I saw my mother running in the corridors of the hospital, carrying me in her arms and crying. Running in the corridor, holding me in her arms and crying.
Okay.
I just remember this scene. Okay.
All
When it
right.
was disclosed to me, my mother said that you were seriously sick and I was worried for you. That is why those tears came out of me.
Okay. Wow. It's an incident that you will always remember, because
I'll
as
always
children,
remember.
you have a memory in your head. It is like only flashes of it, right? Right.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand. Also, what was your reaction when you first saw that sheet that said, the report that said you're fully cancer free?
Uh, okay. As I told you, I did not even know that I had cancer.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
not even know that I had cancer until the age of 8 or 9. Okay.
Yeah.
After my treatment got completed, after 2 years or 3 years, my treatment got completed. I did not even know that I had cancer unless and until I started myself being inquisitive to my parents.
Yes.
I heard my parents, they were telling others, okay, I had gone through this and this disease. So I overheard them. No, eavesdropping. Okay. I overheard them, and then I heard the word cancer. And those days, we had a TV, of course. We had a TV. And in those days, on the televisions, you could see advertisements of cancer. Also, in the in the beginning of the movie, you
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
that smoking causes cancer, and then there's a person comes named Mukesh. Mukesh had tongue cancer and all. He
Yeah.
says. So I had this thought. Okay, if they're talking about me having cancer, how is that even possible for me? I mean, okay, tobacco causes cancer, smoking causes cancer, but at the mere age of 6, where did I even consume all that? I never smoked. I never consumed tobacco, or even or never did I even consume anything which had tobacco in it. Does the chewing gum cause cancer? Does an eclair cause cancer? Does it? These were the thoughts running in my mind, and I started being inquisitive to my parents, and then they were like giving me some, you know, uh, flashbacks, saying that okay, these were the things. Even my parents did not know that why cancer was. I mean, why I had suffered from cancer.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just told me that okay, so Sufiyan, you had cancer in your childhood. You remember you spent your time in hospital due to which your school was left out for 10 to 12 months. I told you I remember. That's because you had cancer. Okay,
Okay.
these were
That's how
their
they
words.
told you.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
they
how they
told.
told. And for a matter of fact, I was not at all worried about it. Okay, because when I got to know that I had cancer, I heard that cancer is very fatal, cancer is very dangerous, and cancer is incurable. No, can't say incurable, but it's very difficult to cure
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah.
Patients suffering from cancer.
Especially when it comes
But
to stage 4.
when I got to know about cancer, I was already cured. So I was not worried at all. These were
Yeah.
my reactions and words, statements you could say. Those.
Yeah. Especially for a stage 4 cancer to get treated and come out of it is not easy at all. Absolutely. Also, one more thing, I should actually be asking your parents about how they felt when they saw the reports, actually, because it is a lot of their hard work as well.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It's all
it's
their
some
hard work.
It's
So
no, you are also in it partly. But the thing is the fact that the caregiver's effort always gets sidelined. Everybody
it doesn't
concentrates
get the
on the
uh,
everybody concentrates on the patient and what the patient
survivor.
is going through. What the caregiver does, what the mental trauma that they go through, seeing their loved one go through such a thing, is always sidelined. So what are your thoughts on that? What
Actually,
would you have to say to other caregivers out there? What is your message to them?
other caregivers, the message what I would give is do not leave out your child or your husband or anyone whose care you're taking when they're suffering from such a fatal disease. Okay, the only as a survivor myself, as a victim of cancer myself, I would say that a patient's moral support comes from the caregiver. The times as I was a child, so I did not remember much, but the time the patient is going through, the caregiver has a major part, the major role to play in it. If the caregiver is brave enough, if the caregiver is like, okay, you will fight through it. It doesn't matter. It is nothing. It's just a simple thing. It's just abysmal and petty thing. You can go through it. You have a lot of more fights in your future waiting. Then, if a caregiver gives such a moral support to you, then I think it's not very difficult for you to uh, conquer against cancer or
If
any
you
other
have
disease.
that kind of support, right?
Yeah, the support is all that matters. The support is all that matters. The support, the love, and the determination. Oh,
Patience.
yeah, patience, determination, everything.
Wow. Wow. It's amazing the way you're talking about such a huge thing like cancer. Someone like you who's so young and so, I mean, you're just 17, right? It's
I'm going
amazing.
to be 17.
Going to be 17, 16 going on 17. Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So every day, can you explain how your life used to be and how it is now after cancer? Before cancer, you have
How,
certain memories of how your life used to be, and now after cancer,
of course,
how?
I do have memories of my pre-cancer treatments. Okay. As I told you, I was a child, but then too, I have some memories.
Right.
You know, uh, before going, before having cancer, before suffering from cancer, my family and I, we had recently moved to a new home.
Okay.
Okay, we had recently moved to a new home,
Mm.
and there I had made friends. There I had made friends. It was an apartment. There I had made friends. Then the friends, and the major part what I remember is my the time I spent with my friends. That is the major part because I always used to be out. I didn't even used to have proper food because of
Okay.
the enjoyment I had those days. So the major part what I remember is being with my friends. I was with my friends. I remember being in school where there was this very cute teacher whom I used to admire a lot. She used to support me in everything. She also gave me chocolate when I got third prize in drawing competition. I remember
Sweet.
this okay, this sports day in which I participated as being a child. I remember that too, and I procured the third position. I remember, and the mistakes I did to have got that third position. Even I remember that.
Oh my
I
God.
I remember that. I remember that when I was running. Okay, when I was running, when the teacher said, "On your marks, get set, go."
Mm.
While running, my shoe got off. It came out of my leg. So instead of continuing the run, I went back, I took back my shoe, which I left out for getting the first position, but yeah, got the third position.
It's okay. It happens. Come on. So many more marathons to run. It's not a big deal. Yeah.
Evolves.
Yes. So, other than that, how much has your, it is definitely a life changing experience. You will
Yeah,
agree.
okay. I would say that always wanted to be a normal child, an average child like any other. I never wanted a special treatment, and I wanted to be treated as a special child. Okay, when my treatment got completed, my parents had already informed my teachers in school.
Mm.
Okay, they had already informed my teachers in school. So even the teachers in school used to take special care of me. Okay, which
Oh,
it it absolutely made me very awkward, feel very awkward. Okay, why is this happening? Why? Q? Why only me?
Hmm.
Why am I not allowed to take part? Why am I not allowed to run with my friends? These were the thoughts running because
They were limiting you. They were
they
limiting
were
you to.
limiting me for everything, so that nothing happens to me actually.
They're being overprotective, I would say.
Overprotective, I wouldn't say, because obviously they wanted my health to be at pink. They
Yes.
wanted my health to be at pink, so they took care of me on my parents saying. If
Okay.
my parents wouldn't have informed them, then okay, everything would have gone.
Yes. But that again comes from your parents
Hmm.
being a little bit more over.
And I being born in 2003, 17 November 2003, I being born in 2003. When I was suffering from this disease,
Hmm.
I was in senior KG, okay, senior kindergarten. I
Yeah.
was in senior KG, but as I got this disease, I had to leave school. I was in
Right.
the hospital for these many months. I had to leave school in the middle, and then because of this disease, I had to repeat the senior KG class. So all of my friends of those senior KG batch had transferred to first standard, whereas me, I was left out in the senior KG. I had to repeat it, and since then, because of that, even now, people tell me that, oh, okay, they look at my ID card and say, oh, you're born in 2003. We all are born in 2004 and 5. Why are you so elder to us? Why?
That
Have you had you got failed? And I'm like,
is the first thing will come. Yeah. Yeah. That
yeah,
happens. That happens.
okay. I say, no, actually, that's a big story. I never tell them. I just tell them, okay, if you want to know, I was just sick for some time, and that's why my parents didn't want me to be left behind. That's why they wanted me to relearn whatever I had lost.
Yes.
Okay,
Right. Right.
that is
I mean,
why
that's a good answer. That's a good answer. Very neutral.
1 year of my studies, 1 year of my school was lost, and
Hmm.
that is why I would have even passed 10th this year if it was gone
Oh, okay.
going good. Because
Right.
being 16 and being 16 and already being in 10th standard, have not passing it 10th standard is like, okay, you're gonna have everything late in your life. You're gonna get graduated late, HSC late, job late, marriage late, everything late. It feels like that.
That is just everyone putting the pressure on us, thinking that, oh my
But
God, time is
even
going.
then, no one knows about it except for a few friends of my own friend circle.
Yeah, that's
Except
more
for
than
a
enough.
4 to 5,
That's
I
more
have
than enough.
never turned, because I never want that kind of sympathy. You
Mm.
know, you okay, if I get to know something about someone, okay, this person is suffering from this disease, this person is very weak, this person is bad at studies, then you get that reaction spontaneously coming out of you. Oh, that's so sad, it shouldn't have happened. And then
People tend to do that.
the perspective of how that person looks at you changes.
Yeah, that is
Okay,
true.
instead of being normal and acting normal, being a friend, they more be like, okay, you don't, Sufyan, you don't worry, I do sympathize you.
Oh my God.
You have my sympathy. Don't worry, we gonna do all this together. Don't. I mean, okay, I do not want this. I do not want this.
What you
I
want is
have gone.
empathy.
No, empathy, of course. If you wanna have empathy, then okay. If you wanna empathize me, okay. Okay. I'm not mad at you for that. But if you're gonna make me feel low, then please get out of my life.
Yeah,
That's why.
I completely agree. Any person going through such a disease will always want empathy, not sympathy. But as the society we live in doesn't always, work that way, And if you're considering the stigmas attached to this word cancer,
Cancer,
uh,
of course.
what?
Cancer has been stigmatized since the early 20th century, I would say. Since
Yes.
the early 20th century.
And have you faced any of these stigmas?
I I would not say, because I haven't disclosed it to any of my friends. Only a few of my parents, close ones, they know about my treatment. I would say my parents have a lot of people close to them, so they have told a lot of people, everyone in their relations. They have told that my child has suffered from this and this disease. So whenever they come over, or I go over to their place for for a mere visit or any occasion and something similar to that,
Okay.
then they are like, "Beta, how are you? Are you good? Is everything all right?"
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
That makes me feel so awkward. Okay, why the hell did I come here? I shouldn't have. And whenever they come out to my place, कैसा है बेटा, ठीक ना, सब सब अच्छा चल रहा है ना, हाँ, कुछ कुछ तकलीफ है बताओ, कुछ तकलीफ है तो बताओ. Damn. Think about your own self. Why are you worried about me?
Yeah. I mean, the tendency is there. They want to show that they are concerned about you, but it comes out in a different way.
It comes down to different. It feels like as if, okay, you know about it. Okay, these are my thoughts. Okay, you know about it.
Hmm.
My parents had told you a long time.
Yeah.
You only visited me once in the hospital. Why are you so much worried right now? Why? What does that matter with you? Are you interested in our family matters? Why are you so interested? Okay, if you wanna have concern, then it's fine. But do not pressurize me. Don't make me feel awkward.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. I would completely agree with you when it comes to sympathy and empathy. There, a person like this going through such a journey will only want empathy, right?
Exactly.
And my final question to you, what are your words of wisdom out there to everybody watching this video? Something someone has gone, you've gone to, you wake up with so much gratitude every day. I can see that on your face. It's a second life, it's a second chance at everything. You know, if it weren't for the kind of treatment you got, if you weren't for the kind of people you had and the support system that you were talking about before, um, maybe not, things would have been different. We don't know. There are so many possibilities out there, so many different routes life takes. And I'm so happy we're sitting here and having this conversation that life went this route, and
Uh, I
here you are.
I had I hadn't even thought that there would come a time where I would have to recount everything to another person who would be inspiring as a third party to other people. This is something unimaginable. After 10 years of your treatment, you are called up to inspire other people so that they do not lose hope.
They do not
Being
give
a
up.
cancer,
Yes,
being a
exactly.
cancer survivor, if you are able to do such a good act, then the purpose of your life is absolutely fulfilled.
Wow.
God has given you a chance so that you could do something, and here you are doing it.
You have a purpose, and you will not go that easily unless the purpose is fulfilled,
Fulfilled.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Wow. Amazing. I have had such nice time having this conversation with you, Sufiyan. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Thank you
I
so
actually
much.
thank you and the whole of your management from Zen Onco and Love Heals for providing me this opportunity to be well spoken in front of such an amazing personality as you
Not
know.
an issue at all. It's a very normal conversation. It is what we are just trying to inspire people, spread the awareness. I mean, as another person going through such a journey, when they see you and they see the fact that, oh, this is a person who has gone through this. Okay, then I can also do it. I'm not alone in this journey. So that
Absolutely.
relating, that they are able to relate to your story, which would push them and give them more inspiration and motivation to work harder at. I can definitely vouch for this, because you would have had times where you would have thought, forget it, I'm done, I have had enough. I'm definitely at that point in time.
I would share this with you. I told you I had many friends in the ward, my ward mates. There was this elder brother. Okay, the elder brother of mine. He is a Maharashtrian, so I used to call him Dada. I
Okay.
used to call him Dada. Uh, what happened in the last stages of chemo? He couldn't bear it.
Okay.
I I think as far as I have grown as a teenager right now. So I think now when I've got that mind, when I've got that brain, I understand his situation, what he had gone through during his days. Because I, being a child, mere 6 years old, can pass that last stages of chemotherapies, then why can't he, being elder to me, being a teenager, go through it? That was all in the mind, that was all in the mind. If I imagine myself having cancer at this age, or even at 13 to 14, where my mind was much matured than a 6 year old. I would say that just the thought of having cancer would lead me to depression, and that would have caused my death. I think the mind plays a very important role. The
Said
all the
it.
things you have in your mind, all the things you have in your mind. Okay, okay, I'm going through this. What will happen of me in the future? What am I going to do? Am I going to be neglected? And all the thoughts they run in your mind. If I ponder over it right now, or even anytime, I just feel that I was lucky enough. It was all a grace of God that I had got cancer, but at a very young age.
Yes.
Because minds, young minds that do not know, child minds that do not know what they're going through. They just know that, okay, I'm sick. I've gone to a doctor. The doctor will treat me, and I'll get well. This is
The
what it is in
basic,
their mind.
yeah,
Okay,
the basic instinct of every human being is to fight, is endurance. This human spirit has endurance in it. So
it
unless and
absolutely
until you
does.
actually has that forefront key, oh, okay, this is what it is, then you start worrying about it, and then your endurance comes down.
Actually does. And I still remember him. He was a very good person, I would say. He always acted as an elder brother. He said like, okay, I'm going to teach you this. I'm going to teach you this. You know, and you could fight like this, like this, like this. Okay, and whatever he did, he used to tell stories of him playing with his friends. I
Mm,
could just not even imagine of him being passed out at such an early age.
yeah,
Okay,
right.
so I just think, what would have happened if I had gotten cancer at his age or at this time. I don't think it was.
Ponder over it, right? You
Yeah,
ponder
I
over it.
I do ponder over it. It would not have been possible for me to survive it because of the thoughts. Because I at times I'm an overthinker. I'm an
Aren't we
overthinker. I
all?
think,
Aren't we all? It's
and
not just
especially this
you.
lockdown, especially this lockdown has worsened this condition so much. At nights when
Yeah.
you don't feel sleepy, you have wild thoughts running in your mind.
Yes.
Either it's about the past or it's about the future. It's never the present. Okay,
Never,
it's never
never,
the
never.
present. So you have these thoughts going in your mind. I just imagine if I had cancer at this age, the thoughts itself would have killed me before the cancer did.
Oh my God. Each person has their own journey. You were lucky enough to go this way. And it is, I feel, I'm saying this out of my own experience with you right now. I feel very honored. The first time I'm being and talking on call with someone so much more younger than me and who has gone through such an age, such a disease at an even more younger age, you know. So I feel very honored. I feel very inspired. And wow, hearing you talk the way you're talking, keep on inspiring all of us.
I'm
Keep
honored.
inspiring,
Thank you.
keep keep inspiring the way you do. Be yourself. Times are hard right now, but it's always going to get better. Okay. Thank
Inshallah.
you
Okay.
so much for taking the time out. Thank you on behalf of Zen Onco and Love Heals Cancer. Thank you so much for taking the time
I
and
thank
spending with us
I
and
thank you, Miss
explaining.
Nadia. I thank you, Miss Nadia, and all of the Zen Onco management and staff for thinking of me as a privileged person of having a head-to-head conversation with. Thank you.
Not an issue at all. It was our pleasure. It was our pleasure. Thank you so much and take care. Have a nice day. I wish you so many, so many, so many years ahead of you. Become 17 soon. All right. All right, Sufyan. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.